Here's another one of my dealer buddies' cars, and it is the last car we are filming at this shop ever again. It is the end of Newton, only Newton. Let's get started. And it's also going to be very fitting that our last video is a Honda Accord, a 2000 Honda Accord with almost 240,000 miles on it, and it is almost like new condition. It is in very good shape. This is also our last car in the installment of Fresh from the Auction. This one was picked up by my buddy who's just getting a dealership going, and this one, he saw it, he's like, this one's really nice. I know the miles are really high, but this could be a good car for someone. It probably has a lot of life left in it. Although it appears like new condition, we're going to find out today, is it really that good of a deal? We always said the Buick LeSabre of the 2000s, early 2000s, was the bulletproof car to buy. I did a video not too long ago saying even those are getting long on the tooth now. Honda Accord was right there with it, if not even a little better than a Buick LeSabre with the 3800. This one still is 26 years old. No matter how reliable or bulletproof a car is, after 25 years go by, they will start to show their age, no matter how perfect the car is. Let's take a look around this Honda. Well, Mrs. Wizard, I haven't seen that in my rearview mirror in a long time.
I bet you haven't. This is getting a little old.
It is, but it still looks classy. It looks nice. You can see the wheels are a little bit beat up. I guess that they're 15s. Let's find out, guys. Let me take a look. They are 15s. Everything was 15s back in this era. 17s were cool. 18s were special. But you can see the paint is nice. No hail dents. It's not rusted out. It's still glossy even. I don't see any badges though other than the Honda badge. You should see a Accord or Accord LX or something. I don't see anything there. I do see a dent here, right above the rear right wheel. And then there's some paint chipped on the bumper on this side. Let's go ahead and hop under the hood. And here we have our 2.3 liter VTEC. It's got the VTEC Yo. It's also, as you can see, got some pretty good oil leaks going on, which is a very common oil leak of this era. This still has a distributor, even though it's the year 2000. And where the distributor mounts to the cylinder head, there's an O-ring there that leaks, and it pours oil all down the side of the engine. The engine bay is a little dirty. Maybe they lived on a dirt road or something, and especially people that do live on dirt roads, they don't spend a lot of time washing their engine because it's just going to get dirty again within 3 days. So I can understand that. I totally get it. One thing that's really cool is most cars have the accessory drive and everything on the passenger side in the US over here, but the Hondas have theirs on the driver's side in the US over here. And it's like the trifecta, guys. Power steering, alternator, AC compressor, all in a row, very easy to get to. No fighting, no cursing, no throwing wrenches at your buddy's head. Very easy to work on. They made literally millions of these cars, so there's still used parts, there's new parts, there's tons of parts for these cars all over the place. We also saw that the valve cover gasket is starting to leak. That would be the time to do a valve adjustment. These do require a valve adjustment on the Hondas, which isn't that hard of a job, but why would you take the valve cover off and not do that? So it needs a valve adjustment, valve cover gasket, distributor O-ring. Really, that's about it in the engine bay. Let's take a trip back in time to 2000 with Mrs. Wizard in the interior. Let's see how good of condition it is after 26 years and almost 240,000 miles.
There you have it, 239,461 miles. Yeah, this little guy has got some miles on it, but you're going to be shockingly impressed today. Liking the gauge cluster, loving all the lights that are on. They're in test mode, of course. But as we move up, look at this dash. Yeah, it's a nice taupe color and looking good. Have our airbag there. Oh, I do see a little bit of a fly. It's harder to see on camera maybe, but there is a little bit of a crack there in the windshield. Oh man, they've been doing so good except for that little thing. Got our center section here with all of our HVAC and our radio controls looking nice. As we move back, we've got a nice big spot to put things. Got a charge port over here, and then we have our gear selector. And as we move back again, Here's our cup holder. Got a nice little lid there to keep it hidden if you need to put something in there. Keep secret. Our armrest. A little bit of wear going on here, but nothing crazy. It's not torn off. It just shows that people have put their elbow there. As we lift up, yeah, look at that. There's not so much as, a gum wrapper in there. This thing's looking really good. And our seats are cloth, kind of a velour, kind of an ivory velour, and looking very, very good. No rips, no tears. Same thing on this door cart. I'm liking the light color. Everything today is black and dark, dark charcoal. I'm liking this kind of ivory almond color. Looking good. This is the true test of a car, especially a family car. Look at the back seat. Does it show evidence of little kids sitting back there? Car seats in there, ground-in Cheerios? No, nothing. Looking fabulous. As we get to that headliner, nothing is dangling, nothing is sagging. Ever again, looking pretty. And because this is a Honda from 2000, we don't have very many things going on. We got a little bit of cruise control here. That's it. We don't need buttons for our radio and for our controls up and our screens and that. No, we just got our embossed Honda right there and airbag right there beneath that. So, looking really good. So let's get this up in the air and see what do we find on the underneath.
So here we are underneath this 240,000 mile Honda Accord. At our radiator area, I don't see any leaks going on, but the leaks that we just saw up top in the engine bay are definitely showing down here. That valve cover gasket and the distributor O-ring have been leaking for a while. The leaks that it has are pretty good sized leaks, but I can tell that it's been doing this leak for a long time. They just kind of let it go. They probably figured it's an old car, just keep going until we want to get rid of it. It wouldn't take much to solve this leak, clean up the oil mess, which is blown all the way on the bottom of the car. That's probably all it would need. Let's check out these wheels. Brakes are about 40% remaining. Strut is not blown. CV boots are good. Sway bar link is good. Nothing loose there. 40% on the brakes there. Struts are not blown. Nothing loose there or there. CV boots are good as well. You definitely don't want to let oil leaks go this long because it will eventually drip over rubber components like CV boots or rubber hoses and things, and it will start to degrade the rubber and it could prematurely fail them. So make sure to keep it in mind. I'll get a lot of questions of people say, how is it you can just take a quick glance at brake pads and give a percentage, 30%, 40%? How do you know that, Car Wizard? In the years that I've been doing this, I have seen thousands of brand new brake pads on multiple models. So I have a kind of a gauge in my mind what brand new pads look like. Then I take a look at those, and it's about half that, or maybe a little less, 40%. Is it exactly scientifically 40%? No. I'm just giving an estimate. And that's all the customer needs. They don't need to know that they have 37.257% left. They don't need to know that. They just need to know you got roughly this much time left. Start looking for some brakes at this point. That's all you got to do. Here's our exhaust. In all these years and all these miles, the tweakers haven't got to the catalytic converter, so that's very good. Mrs. Wizard pointed out this little cage, this plastic piece that covers brake lines and fuel lines. You don't see that on cars today. They just run them out in the open. This is back when car makers actually cared about making good cars. They want to protect those and keep them from salt, rust. Not so much salt, probably it would deflect some of it, but from getting scraped or damaged. We do see the oil leak is spraying all the way back here. It's just all over the... I guess it's rust proofing, guys. I guess you could say that, but that's not the rust proofing that I want. And our exhaust goes all the way back here to a little short muffler, and then there's our charcoal canister, which is easy to get to. And then our fuel tank. I would not want to drop that fuel tank if I had to. It's got a whole bunch of bolts and mounts and all tied into suspension and everything. That would not be fun. The brakes are about 80% remaining. Shocks, struts are not blown. Sway bar link is good. Nothing loose there. Brakes are 80%, strut is not blown, sway bar link is not loose, nothing loose there. The bushings actually look good. So you guys know I just mentioned no matter how reliable a car is, how bulletproof it is, age catches up with the car. Take a look at this muffler, guys. I can about put my screwdriver through it. This exhaust system is at the end of its life.
It's so fitting for a no muffler Newton.
Yes, in Newton, this is what they would do. They would get a hacksaw or some sort of a sawzall and just cut the pipe right here. Done. Fixed. That's how they would do it here in Kansas. Well, let's check the date codes on those tires. So it's very close to time for new tires on this. 28th week of 2019. These are 7 years old and they're starting to show some cracking, weather checking, and they're almost close to the wear bars. So it's about time for new tires on this. Let's get this thing on the ground. So did the buyer of this car do good? Yes, they did. This will be a perfect car for someone who doesn't want to spend $76,000 like we did on our series here a little bit ago on a new car. They need a work car or a college kid's car. This would be perfect. Now there's that old saying like, I trust this thing to go from New York to LA. I wouldn't. I don't care what kind of car, how bulletproof it is. It's still 26 years old. It appeared to have the original power steering pump, original alternator, and AC compressor. When are they going to fail? It's kind of like asking, when is the final day that you'll be alive? Do you know that exact day? Neither do I know the exact day the power steering pump will fail. Could be tomorrow. Could be 5 years from now. But it's at the age where any of those could fail at any moment. I have a sneaking suspicion that if you just blindly took this car and drove it from one point of the country to the other, you probably would have a breakdown. However, it's still going to be a good car as long as you're not taking long trips, family road trips, things of that nature. Expect that something's going to fail at some point. It's going to need an alternator. No muffler Newton, guys, listen. Oh, they shut it down. That's too bad. The exhaust is rusted out. The car is in pretty good shape. It has a bad oil leak, a couple of oil leaks. To get those solved, it wouldn't be a big of a deal at all. But this is totally worth it. I don't know what the price is going to be on this car, but even if you had to add $1,000 on top of that to get some of the things sorted out, you'll have a really good college car or go-to-work car. Very, very good. They did great on this buy. How many miles does this have left in it? If taken care of, another 100 or 150,000. I've seen some Honda Accords with 450 or 500,000 miles, and they're running fine. So how fitting is it that our last car, this isn't a customer, we're not fixing it, we're not doing anything, just filming this for a friend, that our last car is a car that I've been pushing to you guys for a long time, Toyotas and Hondas. And here's one with lots of miles, lots of years, and really it's in pretty good shape. These are great cars, excellent cars. So we don't have long left, and we're going to be down in the desert doing work down there, doing our YouTube channel down there. I had a comment, someone said, should I unsubscribe from your channel and subscribe to your new channel? That won't be necessary because we never said we're going to close the channel. We're just moving our location, and we're going to take you guys with us to New Mexico. We're going to still fix cars, still do videos, just like you're seeing right now. Exactly the same, just the location has changed. Our next video coming out very soon is going to be Goodbye to Kansas, and we're going to have Hoovie in it. We're going to go over some of the stories and talk about all the fun we had here in Kansas and then what we're planning on doing down there in the desert. Everyone always talks about desert cars. Like I found this old car and it was in perfect shape because it came from Arizona or New Mexico in the desert. Rust just doesn't take them down. I'm excited to see that in cars as I put them on the lift and underneath they look brand new. That's going to be really cool to see. I know it's not so bad here in Kansas area, but in the Northeast, rust just destroys cars. It kind of does here a little bit, but it'll be definitely cool to see no rust, no salt, no snow, any of that going on, how it treats the cars down there. If you're curious what kind of tools we're going to use in New Mexico to fix all types of cars, check our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. All the tools that we use in the shop every day, tried and true, are listed for sale there, and if you purchase any of them, we get a small cut and really appreciate it. No, we're not closing the YouTube channel. No, we're not closing our shop like for good forever. We're just moving the location. That's it. So make sure to hit the subscribe button on the way out and the notification bell, because yes, more videos are coming on this channel and more cars are going to be fixed in my shop. Thanks for watching.